Hello everyone, Science Viking here, and I'm ready to continue the Let's Play of Myth the Fallen Lords. We are, as of the end of the last level, we are still trapped in the tain. Let's see if we have any luck getting out this time. That's a lovely image to open the level on.
Date unknown, inside the tain.
It's okay,
Tradition tells us almost nothing of the Muirthemne, save for the horrible skull platforms they would build from the severed heads of their enemies. We found one of these a few hours ago, 30 feet high and 100 feet across, each skull arranged with a mad precision that was terrifying to behold. Many of the skulls were human, or at least humanoid, but among these were others which were certainly not, whose shapes and curves I have tried to forget ever since. In the center of the platform, far above our heads, rose the ancient battle standard of the Muirthemne. We left immediately. Mergen believes that we are close to finding a back door, a secret exit from the tain, added by its creators so they could escape the thing if it were ever used against them. It will be hidden, of course, and almost certainly protected by traps, but it is our only chance of escape. These caves are so vast that we've been able to locate less than 50 of the 4,000 men we suspect are imprisoned with us. Mergen hopes that he can release the others after we have escaped, by destroying the tain at the exit. I asked him if doing so would also set free everything which had ever been imprisoned in the tain, but got no response.
Alright, I'm back, and let's get on with this. Now, this episode of the Let's Play is actually going to have to be split into two parts because this level is just that long. And so I can't get the level to under half an hour. So, whoa. Yep, Myrmidons and a couple of Berserks teleport in shortly after we arrive. Ideally, we want to try to save the two Berserks. Obviously, the Myrmidons will not be on the same side as the spiders. I believe the Berserks that teleport in cannot be veterans, since there's too high of a risk of them being killed by the Myrmidons, and losing a veteran that way would just be kind of unfair. Anyway, as I said, this level is so long that I will not actually be able to do this in one half-hour video. So, about at the halfway point of the level, I'll split, and then the next one will be in the next part. I will upload both parts at the same time, so if you're seeing this, the second half is already available. Now, like the previous level, this level has a puzzle rather than just being pure combat. And also like the previous level, that puzzle involves pillars that do something different when we get close to them. But these pillars are somewhat different than the last pillars. As you get your units close to these pillars, the pillars begin to glow. If you get your units even closer to the pillars will shoot lightning bolts at your units and kill them. So there's no way to get past them. Except, we need to get past these pillars in order to finish the level, in order to solve a puzzle. So, what do? Well, the answer is, there is only enough energy to power one of the pillars at a time. So as long as one of the pillars is lit up like this, you can go to any of the other pillars and just walk past them and they won't attack you. So that's what we're going to do. I'm leaving 4 Berserks behind because it is possible for the units guarding the pillars to be attacked, and if they are, that will be a serious problem because, well, if the units guarding the pillars either die or move away from the pillar while your units are close to one of the other pillar will immediately become active and kill you. So, yeah. We need to be somewhat careful. Anyway, while these Berserks are holding this pillar down and keeping it disabled, the rest of the force is going to go this way, because we need to get past the pillars. Right. These spiders are just kind of on a patrol. I can easily take them out with Berserks.
Sir?
Meantime, get these guys into a long line formation. Alright. And start with this spider. And then go with this one. And yeah, the spiders are just kind of walking in a circle. These 2 Berserks should be able to easily take all of them out.
Ready.
Keep moving, and keep killing. Now, move the archers in first, followed by the melee units, followed by the dwarves. All that's in here is spiders, and, well, we won't be able to... And, well, frankly, the dwarves aren't very useful against spiders. We will need the dwarves to fill a role in this level, but that role is not combat. Alright. I'm going to advance the archers forward. Keep the melee close to them.
Sir?
Alright. And a new enemy type, Spider Queens. They're like spiders, but worse. They're big, they're tough, they do a lot of damage, and also, their melee attack actually stuns your units. Sort of like how being too close, if a unit is too close to a white when the white explodes, the unit will be briefly stunned. The Spider Queen's melee attack does that. So it can actually pin down any single unit and keep them from defending themselves. Alright.
Got him. Hey.
Okay, I'm going to have the archers concentrate on the queen.
Ready. Step aside. Hey.
Come on, one more arrow. Okay. And we didn't lose that archer, which is good. He's quite experienced. I would have liked not to lose him. Now, as I said, the dwarves have a role to play. And that role is carrying something. You see this glowing object in the center of this nest of spider eggs? That glowing object is basically a key that we need. There are 4 of them in the level. We need to gather all 4 and bring them somewhere in order to end the level. Only dwarves can carry these things for some reason. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So I'm going to send a dwarf over there to grab it. So yeah, the dwarves don't really have much to do combat-wise, but they're the only ones who can carry the thingies that we need to collect. Which also means you really don't want to lose dwarves in this level. Alright, while that dwarf heads over, the rest of the force is going to head towards the next area. Alright. Alright, the dwarf has the thingy. Now he's also going to head over. And that's basically the way this level works. You fight spiders to collect thingies. Okay. However, because of the way that the combat is, I can demonstrate a rather nice feature of this level, of this game. You can alter the game speed. Hitting F2 causes the game speed to increase to double, 4 times, 8 times, 16 times, 32 times, and that's the maximum. Conversely, hitting F1 will reduce the game speed. Either you use that to reduce it down to normal, but it can also go to half, a quarter, and then just paused. So that the game is paused, but you don't have to open a menu. Some players will actually slow the game speed when they're dealing with very fast-moving and very complex fights to keep things from overwhelming them. That was supposed to be increasing. I will not do this. I personally actually consider that cheating, so I won't be using that to get past anything. I will occasionally increase the game speed in order to get through areas that are mostly just walking. You need to be careful when using this because it's very easy to accidentally encounter a group of enemies and for half your force to be dead before you even realize what's happening because you increased the game speed. So you need to be careful with using this ability, but it can be useful to avoid some of the more tedious parts of the game. Right. Those two spiders, those two berserks will take care of the initial group of spiders. Get the rest of the berserks into position. And the dwarves can once again bring up the rear. Once again, there are spiders and a spider queen. There's no real differences between the different parts of this level. Each area is pretty much the same as each other area. And because of that, I'm honestly kind of disappointed in this level. It is a very interesting puzzle and a very interesting gimmick in terms of the lightning towers and how you manipulate them. But
Yes, on the way.
there's no... But the way that actually plays out is just fighting what is effectively the same group of spiders 4 times.
Yes.
When there was the potential to actually make this more creative and varied in how it plays out.
Yes.
They could have had it so, for instance, one group of spiders,
Sir?
the terrain is really your enemy. They could have made it so that in one area the terrain is really your enemy, and like there are unclimbable walls that you have to deal with that can fence you in, but the spiders can climb over those walls to just murder you. They could have made it so that in another one maybe the terrain actually really does favor you by maybe bringing back the lava so that you can set up choke points where the spiders can only come at you through one particular area because they can't climb over lava, but then made it so that but then balanced that out by making it so there are just way more spiders in that area than there were in the other areas. There are a lot of options to make the encounters with the different groups of spiders actually play out differently. Perhaps even have one of the artifacts not be guarded by spiders, but be guarded by actual undead. So you have one more conventional fight in this level as well. So that each fight is... I think I bumped my microphone. So that each fight could be different and keep things fresh and interesting. But instead, it's the same fight 4 times. So, talk about a missed opportunity. Now, we have this gate. This gate is where we have to bring the 4 artifacts in order to actually finish the level. Now obviously, since we have 4 artifacts and 3 dwarves, we can drop some of the artifacts off early before picking up the rest. So, you get over here. I'm going to drop off the 2 that we've collected so far, since we can't carry them all at once anyway, and then that will actually be the end for this part, and then the other 2 artifacts and actually leaving the tain will be in the next part. So, first, let's bring this other dwarf over here. Let's up the game speed again. Once again, everything dangerous has been killed. That's not what I wanted. Even with increased game speed, dwarves just move slowly. And this dwarf has already dropped his artifact, and this dwarf has dropped his artifact. And it appears that I have the opportunity to demonstrate a glitch. A visual effect is supposed to happen when you drop the artifacts off in the pit. However, it sometimes doesn't. If it doesn't, that means that the artifact was placed improperly. Okay, that's the visual effect that is supposed to happen. Now we toss this artifact, and the visual effect gets stronger. Yes, sometimes the effect will fail to trigger, in which case you have to pick up the artifacts again and drop them again. Yeah. I feel like maybe they could have beta tested this slightly more. Anyway, that's going to be the end for this part. I'll be back pretty much immediately, but even so, in the meantime, as usual, I love you all, and I will see you next time.